Guys, picture this. An island fortress rising from the azure waters of the Arabian Gulf. This is Qal'at al-Bahrain, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The fortress itself is impressive, but beneath its weather-beaten walls lies a secret. Qal'at al-Bahrain isn't just any fort. It stands guard over the ruins of an ancient civilization. We're talking about a civilization that thrived from the 3rd millennium BC. And this fort, this was its beating heart. Dilmun wasn't just some random kingdom, it was a force to be reckoned with. Imagine a hub of trade, culture and innovation. They traded with Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and even Egypt. Think pearls, copper, spices, and all things exotic. Their ships sailed far and wide, connecting east and west. And at the heart of this maritime empire lay Qal'at al-Bahrain. This wasn't just a fort, it was a symbol of Dilmun's might. It protected their trade routes and projected their power. Dilmun was also known for its freshwater springs. Legends even call it the Garden of Eden and the Land of Immortality. Dilmun's rise to prominence is a fascinating tale. This small island transformed into a significant player in the ancient world. Its strategic location in the Persian Gulf was key. The Persian Gulf was a bustling hub of activity. Ships from Mesopotamia and beyond sailed these waters. Exotic goods like silks and spices flowed through Dilmun. It became a central trading post in the region. The island thrived on commerce and trade. Merchants flocked to Dilmun, drawn by its prosperity. Through trade, Dilmun spread its culture and influence far and wide. Now, let's talk ships. Dilmun was a maritime superpower. Their ships, crafted with skill and expertise, were the envy of the ancient world. These weren't your average fishing boats, mind you. We're talking massive, ocean-going vessels, capable of carrying tons of cargo across vast distances. They braved treacherous waters and unpredictable weather to connect distant lands. The Dilmun navigators were practically nautical wizards. They read the stars, they rode the winds, they knew the seas like the backs of their hands. Dilmun became a melting pot of cultures, a place where different traditions and beliefs mingled and merged. Their ships were not just vessels, but floating testaments to their ingenuity and craftsmanship. The legacy of Dilmun extends far beyond ancient trade routes and crumbling ruins. Their story is etched in the very fabric of myth and legend. Remember the Garden of Eden? Some scholars believe that Dilmun, with its freshwater springs and lush vegetation, might have been the inspiration for this paradise lost. Then there's the Epic of Gilgamesh. The hero's quest for immortality leads him to Utnapishtim, the survivor of a great flood, who resides in Dilmun. Even today, echoes of Dilmun can be heard in the local traditions and folklore of Bahrain. The story of Dilmun is a reminder that even the smallest of nations can leave an indelible mark on the world. Picture this. You're an archaeologist, right? You've been digging in the sands of Qal'at al-Bahrain for months. The sun is relentless, but you're on the brink of a major find. You brush away the last layer of dust and there it is. History staring back at you. That's the thrill of Qal'at al-Bahrain. Every dig reveals something extraordinary. We're talking ancient pottery, intricately carved seals, and even remnants of city walls. One of the standout discoveries? The Barbar Temple. Dedicated to Enki, the god of water, it highlights the significance of fresh water to Dilmun. The remains of their homes reflect their sophisticated lifestyle. Qal'at al-Bahrain is a tapestry of time. This site has witnessed countless eras. Digging deeper reveals traces of diverse cultures that have shaped this strategic location. From the Greeks to the Persians, and even the Portuguese, each left their imprint. Envision the fort's transformation over centuries. each layer narrating a unique story. This fort has been a battleground for many conflicts, and yet it remains a steadfast observer of history's ebb and flow. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding Dilmun was their language. For years, scholars were stumped by the strange symbols inscribed on seals and tablets. It was like trying to crack a code, to decipher whispers from a forgotten world. Then came the breakthrough. By comparing the Dilmun script with other ancient languages, experts finally cracked the code. They discovered that Dilmunites spoke a language related to Akkadian, the language of ancient Mesopotamia. Suddenly, these silent artifacts sprang to life. They weren't just pretty trinkets anymore. They were voices from the past, revealing the secrets of Dilmun's rulers, their deities, and their daily lives. It's like holding a piece of their world in your hands. All right. Let's talk location, people. You don't just stumble into becoming a trade hub, you need the right address. Qal'at al-Bahrain, situated on that island in the Persian Gulf, wasn't just pretty. It was prime real estate. This wasn't just about controlling the island, this was about commanding the sea lanes. Imagine it. Ancient superhighways of ships, laden with cargo, all converging on this little island. Mesopotamia was hungry for resources, Egypt wanted luxury goods, and everyone had something the others desired. And guess who sat right in the middle, ready to facilitate all that exchange? Bingo! Dilmun, with their bustling port at Qal'at al-Bahrain. The fort itself, perched on the edge of the island, offered protection. This tiny island, thanks to its savvy inhabitants and that well-placed fort, was punching way above its weight class on the world stage. Imagine the docks of Qal'at al-Bahrain alive with the hustle and bustle of trade. Vessels from distant lands are arriving, their holds brimming with rare and valuable items. This was no ordinary market. It was a grand bazaar of the ancient world, featuring spices, textiles, precious metals, and more. From the east came cinnamon and cardamom from Punt, fine silks from the Indus Valley, and ivory from India. From the west, caravans brought treasures of Mesopotamia, lapis lazuli, ceramics, and textiles. Dilmun itself contributed pearls, copper from nearby mines, and dates, the sweet delicacies of the desert. This was more than just trade. It was a fusion of cultures. But hold on, it wasn't all just about the Benjamins in ancient Dilmun. Sure, trade was their bread and butter, but these guys were more than just shrewd merchants. Qal'at al-Bahrain, thanks to its role as an international hub, became a place where cultures intertwined and diplomacy flourished. Imagine envoys from distant kingdoms rubbing shoulders with Dilmunite officials, hammering out treaties and alliances. Think lavish banquets held within the fort's walls, where exotic foods and strong drinks lubricated the wheels of diplomacy. This cultural exchange wasn't just limited to the elite either. Sailors, merchants, and travelers from all walks of life mingled in the bustling port city. Stories were shared, languages were learned, and religious ideas were exchanged. Qal'at al-Bahrain wasn't just a fortress or a port. It was a crucible where the diverse elements of the ancient world were forged into something new and exciting. All right, let's dive into the divine. Every civilization has its deities, and the Dilmunites were no different. Their gods mirrored their environment and priorities: water, fertility, and the promise of an afterlife. First up, the master of fresh water, Enki. This Mesopotamian god of fresh water and wisdom was central to the Dilmunite belief system. Living on an island surrounded by salt water, the Dilmunites relied on freshwater springs for survival. Enki was their lifeline, a protector against the desert's harshness, and his worship was integral to their daily lives. Then there's Shamash, the sun god, another significant figure from Mesopotamian mythology. In a land of scorching deserts, revering the sun wasn't just practical, it was a matter of faith. Now, imagine the scene at Qal'at al-Bahrain. Beyond its role as a bustling port and a mighty fortress, Qal'at al-Bahrain was a sacred space, rich with religious significance. Temples, altars, and sacred enclosures were scattered across the landscape, showcasing a deep spiritual connection. The Barbar Temple, dedicated to Enki, stood as a central hub of religious life in ancient Dilmun. Picture pilgrims, their footsteps resonating through the courtyard, bringing offerings of fresh water, dates, and precious metals to honor the god and ensure the flow of life-giving water. The air would have been filled with the scent of incense, the sound of chanting priests, and the murmur of prayers for bountiful harvests and safe journeys. But it wasn't just about grand temples and official ceremonies. The Dilmunites, like many ancient cultures, also practiced household religion, integrating spirituality into their daily lives. Now, let's talk cultural exchange. Dilmun, despite its isolation, wasn't some hermetically sealed bubble. Their close ties with Mesopotamia, that ancient powerhouse of culture and innovation, left a distinct mark on Dilmunite beliefs and practices. Take their gods, for example. Enki, Shamash, Ishtar. These Mesopotamian deities were readily adopted into the Dilmunite pantheon, sometimes even merging with existing local deities. It wasn't just about copying, though. It was about adaptation. The Dilmunites took these foreign gods and molded them to fit their own unique worldview, their own specific needs and anxieties. This cultural borrowing extended beyond just religion. Dilmunite art, particularly their cylinder seals used to mark ownership and sign documents, show clear Mesopotamian influences in their intricate designs and motifs. Even their system of writing, initially deciphered by comparing it to Akkadian cuneiform, speaks to the deep connections forged through centuries of trade and interaction. But here's the thing. The Dilmunites weren't just passive recipients of Mesopotamian culture. They absorbed these foreign elements, blended them with their own traditions, and created something distinctly Dilmunite. It's a testament to their openness, their adaptability, and their ability to selectively integrate outside influences without losing their own unique identity. Think of it as the ancient world's version of cultural fusion, a reminder that even in the distant past, no civilization existed in complete isolation. So, there you have it. Qal'at al-Bahrain, this unassuming island fortress, isn't just a pile of old rocks. It's a time capsule, a portal to a civilization that thrived thousands of years ago. The Dilmunites, these master traders and savvy diplomats, left their mark not just on the region, but on the very fabric of human history. Today, Qal'at al-Bahrain stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, thanks to the tireless work of archaeologists and the support of the Bahraini government. It's a reminder that even civilizations as seemingly lost as Dilmun can be brought back to life. Their stories pieced together from fragments of pottery, crumbling walls, and the whispers of the desert winds. But it's more than just a historical curiosity. Qal'at al-Bahrain is a source of pride for modern-day Bahrain, a testament to their nation's deep roots and rich cultural heritage. It's a place where visitors from around the globe can connect with the past, marvel at the ingenuity of their ancestors, and perhaps ponder the enduring legacy of human connection and exchange that transcends time and tide. As you stand atop the ramparts of Qal'at al-Bahrain, gaze out at the shimmering waters of the Persian Gulf and let your imagination soar. Picture the bustling port, the cries of merchants, the creak of ships' timbers, the scent of exotic spices. Dilmun may be gone, but their story, etched in stone and sea, continues to resonate, reminding us that the past is never truly lost, as long as we have the curiosity to seek it out and the wisdom to learn from it.